Good afternoon. Today topic is inheritance in Python. The technique of creating a new class from an existing class is called inheritance. Inheritance is a process of obtaining properties and characteristics, whereas we are calling as variables and methods of another class. The old or existing class is called base class. The class which inherits another class is called subclass or child class. In this process of inheritance, the base class remains unchanged. For example, if we take a person, the employee and customer are the childs of person, and having manager and the developer having the have the childs of employee. And if you take a definition of a class is a user-defined blueprint or prototype from which objects are created. There are different types of inheritance: single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and multi-path inheritance. First one, the single inheritance. A class can be derived from a single base class is called single inheritance. Here A is a parent class, that is A is a base class and B is a child class, that is we are calling as derived class. The derived class B inherits all the features of base class A. Second one is multiple inheritance. When a derived class inherits features for more than one base class, it is called multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance can be quite complex to understand, and it has only two class levels, that is base class and derived class. The derived class has all the features of both the base classes, and in addition to them can have additional new features. Here A and B are two base classes and C is derived class. C inherits all the features of A and B. In this multiple scenario, any specific attribute is searched by using depth first technique, that is left right fashion. For example, if you take a rectangle inherits the properties of area as well as the parameter. This is the syntax for multiple inheritance, that is class base 1 statement block, class base 2 statement block, and class derived having base 1 and base 2. And third one is multi-level inheritance. The technique of deriving a class from an already derived class is called multi-level inheritance. This inheritance serves great purposes and hence is used much widely. It has at least three class levels, that is base class or superclass, derived class 1 or intermediate class, derived class 2. Base class acts as the base for derived class 1, which in turn acts as a base for derived class 2. The derived class 1 is known as intermediate class. The derived class 2 inherits the features of derived class 1 and derived class 1 and inherits the properties of base class. And fourth one is the multi-path inheritance. Deriving a class from other derived classes that are in turn derived from the same base class is called multi-path inheritance. For example, if we take this diagram, base class and derived class 1 and derived class 2 and derived class 3. Derived class 3 inherits all the properties of derived class 1 and derived class 2 and at the same time base class. Derived class 1 inherits the properties of the base class and derived class 2 inherits the properties of the base class. Here there is a problem in this inheritance. Before that, it has two immediate base classes, that are derived class 1 and derived class 2. Both these classes are derived from the same base class, forming a grandparent parent child form of relationship. The derived class inherits the features of base class via two separate paths, that is derived class 1 and derived class 2. The base class is also known as the indirect base class. For clear understanding, let's take another example, that is grandparent, parent 1, parent 2, child. Parent 1 inherits the properties of grandparent and parent 2 inherits the properties of grandparent, and parent 1 and parent 2 have its own properties or features. The child is inheriting the features of parent 1, parent 2, and at the same time it is inheriting the features of a grandparent and has its own properties. In programming, let's take an example. Before that, there is a problem in multiple path inheritance, that is diamond problem. The derived class inherits the members of the base class twice via a path derived class 1 and via parent derived class 2. We see that diamond relationship exists when at least one of the parent classes can be accessed through multiple paths from the bottommost class. To prevent base class from being accessed more than once, the diamond algorithm linearizes the search order in such way that left to right ordering is specified in each class is preserved and each parent is called only once. Let's take an example. In this example, we are taking for inheritance, that is class, person, class, teacher, and class student are three classes, and person is a base class and teacher is the child class of person and student is the child class of person. In person class, we are taking the parameters like self, name, and age. With the help of defining a function, init function, self dot name is equal to name and self dot age is equal to age. In that, we are defining a display self. That is, we are defining print statements like name self dot name and print self dot age. Next, coming to child class teacher, it is having its own features. At the same time, it is trying to extract the features from the parent class, that is name and age are the features or properties from the base class person, and experience and research area are the own features of its class teacher. Let's take this. Defining init method. Self, name, age, experience, research area. Person dot init. Self, name, comma, age. Invoking a init method of the parent class, that is the person class. Self dot experience is equal to experience, and the research area are the properties or features of the teacher. And we are defining self, display data of self, experience and research area, and we are invoking the display of the parent class. And next child is the student, and student having a properties of course and marks, and name and age are from the person class, that is from the parent class. We are defining in it self, name and age and course marks. Person dot in itself comma name comma age, invoking the init of the parent class, that is self dot course is equal to course, self dot marks is equal to marks, and we are invoking the display of the parent class, that is name and age. That is, here we are invoking parent class as well as the his own its own properties like scores and marks. That is, lastly we are printing teacher we are calling s comma 52 comma 55 comma 22 comma graphical password authentication, and we are creating an object t dot display data, and next for printing the student data is equal to student of money comma 20 comma mca comma 80, and s dot display data, that is we are creating an object. Here in this example, person is a person is a main base class, that is we are calling as the parent class. It is having the properties like features like name and age. That is we are creating a an object and we are printing the name and age, and in the teacher we are printing person as well as its own features like experience and research area. And next it is trying to invoke the display of the parent class like name and age, and student having its own features, and it is calling the person self comma name comma age, and it's having codes and marks, invoking the init method of the parent class. At lastly we are creating an object for teacher and student and displaying the person and teacher and student. Let's look at out the output. First we are trying to print a teacher in the print statement like print teacher, and next we are trying to print the name, that is I'm prompting the user to take s as, and age is equal to, that is I'm trying to prompt 55, and experience is equal to, in the column like teacher, experience is equal to 22, and research area, that is from the research area coming from the teacher, that is I'm trying to display graphical password authentication, and I'm trying to display the student data, that is for name is equal to money, and age is equal to 20, and I'm printing mca, and marks is equal to 80. In this way the inheritance is inheriting the properties of parent class and as well as the its own creating features. And thank you.